What do you use to sand down around the rivets?
That sander or that drill?
Drill.
Yep. Use that little drill. Or I use the scraper tool.
Well, scraper, yeah, trying to
Yeah,
get
if they're
rivets.
really close together, I use the drill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking here. I think I'll just have to use the drill. I use this to go around the rivet. And a lot of times you find it, stuff that's like about to crack away. Super hot and sweaty up here working on the bus. Mike's here helping me. We're just about wrapping up here. Yeah, it's 90 outside. Fortunately, we're in the shade. But yeah, it's probably about 5 o'clock, heat of the day, and 6. And yeah, we're knocking off. Had enough for now. Interestingly, we were just noticing and talking about this blue. See the blue that's showing through around the rivets up there and down here. The rest of the bus, we're not seeing that, but I've seen pictures of the coach's original livery when it was the LTR coach, and yeah, they had some stripes that came up over the roof there. It was probably pretty cool. Yeah, we've got the fan on top of the tractor there to try and get some cool air up on top of the bus. Look at the spider webs and dust. All this crap on my shop floor. It's come off the roof of the bus. So like much of the country, we're under a heat dome right now, and it's super hot. It's going to be 100 degrees here today. And of course, working up there is even hotter. And so we're sort of restricted to the mornings. And we use this fan to try and keep things cool in here. Working on buses is fun for the whole family, huh?
I don't know.
So this is our old dual satellite system. There's 4 coax wires and a USB Wi-Fi coming out through here to this big antenna, that white thing. And I'm going to take it all out except for that USB, seal up this hole, because we don't pay for satellite anymore. We stream everything, so don't need that. All right, so I want to describe this Wi-Fi antenna that we have. This is called an Alpha Tube U. It's an outdoor 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi adapter, and inside here, this is actually pretty clever. It's a USB Wi-Fi card in here. So like if you bought a USB Wi-Fi adapter for your desktop, you know, you've all seen them, right? They're not very big. They plug directly in and they take your computer and they give you USB. Well, this is the exact same thing, but with just an outdoor antenna on it. And this adapter that's in here is recognized by Windows and Linux systems. And so the other end of this USB goes over to my router that's based on OpenWRT, and it has the drivers that work with this. But this is pretty simple how this works. It's got like a weatherproof type deal here. This goes through here, and then this part goes like this, and then this part just plugs in. This is like a USB cable extender is all this is. So you gotta plug that in here. And then this little guy goes up in there to kind of hold it. Did I get that the right way? Maybe that has to flip around. Maybe not. Let's see. You see it powered up. Spin this on. And it's got an O-ring to keep that USB connection all sealed up. And then it's got this guy that goes on here to keep this all sealed up. Now we had this mounted to the side of our crank-up TV antenna, and I just zip-tied it on there. It worked great. This thing will pick up park Wi-Fi just fine. Now I'm going to have to relocate all that because we're not going to have that anymore, because we stream everything. We're going to have Starlink and cellular and we'll have this for campground Wi-Fi. And actually, this thing is pretty impressive. Like, this is low tech, like, stuff. But the reason that I like this so much is it's able to pick up our house Wi-Fi through a metal shop building and repeat the Wi-Fi inside the bus in the shop. So, yeah, that's it. I'm relocating this basically right now because solar panels are going to be where this goes, and I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do with it. I may abandon it altogether and get something else, but this has served us well for several years. Obviously, we're nowhere done. We've got more sanding to do here. This whole thing's going to get wiped down with a paint grip product too. Very light salt. Okay. So we had a whole lot of little holes all over the roof where something was attached that we've removed, and we've been going around and filling them with metal impregnated body filler. They're just like little holes, like, screw holes, like 1/8 of an inch. And so we're filling them and sanding them before we paint, so that I don't have to worry about putting a sealer on those holes or even really finding them. We don't want them leaking and not knowing about it. So that's been a project we've been working on for a few days here. And some of these roof vents, these are going to get plated off with a sheet of aluminum like that. But just as a precaution, we're filling all the small screw holes that were on there, to secure a roof vent that used to be there in that place. It'll have another layer, obviously, on top of that when we adhere these panels down. But that's just a little extra peace of mind there, I think. This is the body filler product we used. It's got a little bit of metal in it. We got aluminum. I don't know if it's the same alloy. It's probably not, but so what we're doing here is we're going to use some rivets to help secure this, along with 3M 4200. So 3M 4200 is a marine grade adhesive that's going to go underneath here, and it's going to bond this panel to the skin of the bus and hopefully make this act like one piece again, because the skin is a structural component. I'm not using 5200 because there might come a point in the future where we want to take it apart, and 5200 is a permanent glue. It's, you know, stronger than a weld basically. You'd have to use a stick of dynamite to get it apart if you use 5200. So we're using 4200, which is marine grade. It's approved for use below the waterline on a boat, so it should be up to snuff for our roof. And so we're using, the reason we're using rivets in addition is these pieces of metal are flat and the roof's got a little bit of curve to it, and we just want to make sure that that sucks up nice and adheres and, you know, doesn't pull away when we use the adhesive. So we've got a bunch of holes to drill all along this roof with these sheets to get them ready, and then we're going to come back along with the 4200 and glue these panels down. All right, several days later, and we're getting ready to bond these panels onto the roof of the bus along with rivets. We're using 3M 4200. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description down below for this. They have a 5200 product. It is much more permanent, or it is permanent. You'll have to destroy things to get it apart, like a weld. But this is supposed to be semi-permanent, so I'm gonna give this stuff a shot. I'm applying the 4200 around the hole and seal up, and it's hot. The stuff's pretty easy to work with. I thought it was going to be a lot more thicker or something, but it's actually cooperating. So we got to line up these holes carefully. And so we're doing it using the rivets, and this is going to be really tricky because we don't want to smear it on the paint.
Keep it down so we can start re-spooling these.
Okay, we're going to do the middle ones next, these ones.
We have two over here, remember, on the bottom. So,
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Okay, we got to do this one. Is that going in there? Is that pushed down good? It's fighting me. Can you push here in the middle? Okay.
this one I cannot see if the thing will push it in more.
Oh, hole's not lined up properly. Pry it up and run the drill through a little bit. I hope the rest of them aren't like that.
Well, they were going in. Only that one on the second time
There's some
around.
alignment.
Want to go up.
There's some alignment issue. Give me the drill.
So these ones are lining up.
you see that wrinkle in it right there?
Right here?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
So we rolled this, but it's not 100% where it needs to be. So we do have 4200 under there, but it didn't run out enough around the edge. So we're just trying to make sure we get that final bead. And I think I'm going to have to do it along this lower edge here too.
In this upper edge. I can
Yeah,
see.
because there's a gap.
Yeah.
All right, we got all those holes plated off. The ones that are still open are going to have fans in them. Kitchen fan and bathroom fan. We got these to do, this one to do, and these little ones to do where there was some antennas. So we're going to use some small square plates on these. And we did use this metal filled body filler here on the old holes around here, just to, you know, try and tighten things up a bit. And the holes that you see are the holes for these panels that we've pre-drilled. The 4200's working pretty good. It's a lot like caulk. I like it. Yeah. So I got a solvent covered rag here, just a really lightweight solvent, nothing really super high test is needed. We're using some prep all for this, which is a paint cleaner. But this just cleaned up pretty nice here, you know, just a little bit of wipe down on anything excess. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'll show you. Now, of course, this is all going to get two-part epoxy primer and paint, and it'll look like part of the bus when it's done. All right, it's the next day, and we worked until about 11 o'clock last night, getting those panels riveted and adhesive down onto the roof of the bus. And man, it was a lot of work, strenuous work. You know, it might not seem like it, but it's hot. You're spending a lot of time on your knees, but it's done. So this morning, what we're going to do is we're going to blow off the roof of the bus with some compressed air, wipe it down with some solvent, a light paint prep type solvent, and we've got to put some seam sealer on across the front and rear caps, paintable seam sealant, and then we'll be ready to primer. This is one of the paint prep products that I've used before for cleaning, and this is another one here we're using as well. This is the seam sealer we're going to use along the front and rear cap. This is an auto body product. It's paintable. And while I was going through my body paint supplies here, I saw this and thought I would mention it. This is really handy when you're working with any kind of body filler. It's a board with some paper adhered on it on three sides. So when you mix up your body filler, you've got a rigid surface to do it on, and then you can just tear off a piece and throw it away. Super handy. All right, it's the next morning and the primer's dry. The stuff is pretty tough. Makes a nice hard coating. Seals up pretty good. So this is the single stage top coat that we're using, and it has to be mixed. It says here on the can 6 to 1 to 1. And so you use these special measuring cups, and you find that marking, and you go 6. Well, I mean, this is 6 fills our paint cup, so we go to 6 of the big can, and then you go to 1 to 1. So you just add to get to those marks, right?
You go.
Easy.
Already shook this one up a little bit. Damn it. It's just
That's probably good. This Harbor Freight paint gun works just fine. First half squeeze is just air. Use that to clean it out or kind of fuzz the paint on. And then the full squeeze gives you paint. I'm just going to check it out, make sure we got good flow here. I need more paint. All right, it's next morning. We had to do a little line here because this plate here was new, where the refrigerator vent used to be, because we went from having a propane fridge to a DC 12 volt fridge, and so we had to plate this off so we got more room for solar panels. And this part we had to tape off and do the metallic on the bottom. And this is a base coat, clear coat that I had left over from when I painted my bumper. And it's not exact, but it's close. And this scratch, we kind of tried to touch that up, that scratch I made when we were riveting. Yep. It turned out okay. You know, there's the shot of the roof. There's imperfections, but you know what? I mean, the idea is that this is sealed up and going to last for another 20 years, and it's going to be covered with solar panels, so good enough. Well, I got her washed and put away. I got all the yucky, you know, sanding debris, little bits of sanding dust, and piece of paint chips all off of her, and cleaned up and put back in the shop. So now we can move on to the next stage of our project here, which is mounting the solar panels on the roof of the bus. But that will be for another time. So please like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.